Today we're talking about avoiding the binge. This came up on a group call I did recently with a few women who are going through an online mini retreat with me. And we talked about meals and eating and avoiding snacking. And one of them said, or maybe I said it. I don't remember who said it first, but it was like, how do we avoid the binge? And that phrase stuck with me because it's so powerful. And we've all been there, right? On the verge of an epic snack feast session, knowing what we're doing and knowing we're going to regret it, but doing it anyway. Oh, that's so annoying, right? It annoys me. So first of all, let me backtrack a second, because if you don't know this, I'm a psychology nerd. I love it. I love it. I love it. Before I got into fitness, I had already decided on making a career change, and I was in school studying psychology, planning on becoming a mental health counselor. While I was in school is when I lost a lot of weight, fell in love with fitness, and decided that it's easier, maybe not easier, but more fun to help people with their mental health through fitness than through counseling. And it was cheaper in terms of education and certifications. So here we go. Having said that, I dug out one of my psych books. Now this book is several years old, but bear with me here. I just want to give you the official mental health abnormal psychology definition of a binge. Here we go. Relatively brief episode of uncontrolled excessive consumption, usually food or alcohol, right? So you can binge on something other than food, but it's uncontrolled and excessive compulsion, right? Like you can't stop. Once you start, you're in it, and it's just, you literally cannot stop yourself. Okay, so that's the definition of a binge. Now, you may not know that there is an eating disorder now. I believe it's officially in the diagnostic manual. I'm not positive. Hi, Lynn. At the time that this book was published, it was being considered for the diagnostic manual, like the mental health kind of Bible of what's wrong with people. But a binge eating disorder is a pattern of eating involving distress-inducing binges, not followed by purging behaviors. And it's being considered as a new DSM diagnostic category. So you can have a mental health condition, an eating disorder, if you will, without bulimia. You don't have to purge in order for it to be considered an unhealthy mental condition. That's huge. When I learned that, I was like, I used to say that I was like, on the fence of an eating disorder. Like I dabbled. I was close. I almost had one, but not quite. But when I found that out, I was like, oh, mercy. Yeah, that's me. I've been there. I've done that, right? So that's just a little background on why this is so important. Because generally, we know what we're doing and we still can't stop it. Like we know we're going to regret it. We know there's other healthier ways of dealing with our stress, our anxiety, our sadness, our anger, whatever it is that we're dealing with through food, and we still do it. It sucks. So I wanted to give you a few tips and tricks that I've learned over the years on how to avoid that. First and foremost is if you really think you have an eating disorder, if this has been a ongoing, long-term, really intense problem for you that affects your life, affects your social interactions, if you avoid eating around people, anything like that, please go get professional help. Again, I am not a certified counselor, but I have played this game for a long time. So let's talk about it. All right, first problem is that we rely on willpower. We think we can just suck it up and be tougher and grit our teeth and right? Just bear it. That doesn't work. There's a reason. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to share with you. Shoot, I closed it. It's called like night eating disorder or something like that, where you consume more than a third of your daily calories after dinner, right? Like, you're good all day. I'm good. I have a salad for lunch and some celery sticks for a snack and whatever. And then after dinner, you just lose control, right? That's another condition that's in here. That is not normal. That is not healthy. That generally happens, in my opinion, from being too good all day long, right? And just trying to suffer and starve ourselves and just not eat or take care of ourselves properly. So willpower is a finite resource. Think of it as a pitcher of water, a tank, a bucket, however, maybe you've heard like your emotional tank gets filled up and it drains out and it fills up. Your willpower is the same way. You can strengthen it, you can get it stronger, but ultimately when you've tapped it out and it's gone, and there's nothing you can do to like just grit your teeth and bear it and suck it up. When it's gone, it's gone. So stop relying strictly on willpower. And then in order to strengthen your willpower, you make small steps, small changes, right, to strengthen it. Going all in generally doesn't last for long. So that's the first thing. That's why diets don't work, my friend, right? Because you can grin and bear it for a day or two or three, maybe a week, but then you're done. Like, you're tapped out and you can't take it anymore. And it's not because you're weak. It's not because you're not strong enough. It's because it doesn't work. Okay, so having said that, the second tip is to have a plan. If you know what you're going to eat, when you're going to eat it, it helps avoid the binge, right? You're not coming home from work or after a long day of whatever, kids and life, and being like starving and having no idea what's for dinner and just grabbing the first most convenient thing you can find, or takeout or drive-through or whatever. So when you plan, this is why meal prep and meal planning is so popular, and it's why it works. I honestly don't plan a whole week. Meal prepping is not my strength. There are people that cook like all day Sunday and have food prepared for the whole week. That doesn't really work for me. But having a plan does help. What's for lunch? What's for dinner? Carry snacks with you. Don't be, out and about when hunger strikes and reach for the first thing you can find. Because that's how this conversation came up the other day with the women in my group. It was avoiding the afternoon vending machine snack break, right? How do I avoid going to the vending machine at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? It's to have a plan. And then the third tip that goes along with that is have some non-negotiables. This is like, you decide. I have decided I'm not touching that vending machine. And then, hell or high water, you don't touch that vending machine, right? Not because you're bad and you don't deserve it, but because you've decided that there's nothing in there worth it for you. And you have better choices, healthier choices. You can make better decisions. You can survive the day without the vending machine, or whatever it is for you, whatever your thing is that is tripping you up. So identify it and then draw a line in the sand and just don't go there. Don't go there. But have a plan, right? What to do instead of. You're not just going to starve yourself or ignore your hunger or whatever. You're going to have an alternate plan that's going to help you avoid the thing that's tripping you up. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm talking in circles. All right. The next thing I wanted to say to you is to have minimum standards. So that goes along with the non-negotiables. For me, you've heard me talk about, I'm going to remind you to eat more veggies because it just works. It's magic. So for me, my minimum standard is 3 servings a day. I'm going to have 3 servings of veggies every day, whether I like it or not, whether it's a holiday, whether it's my birthday, like whatever. That's my minimum standard. What's your minimum standard? Have certain things that you're going to commit to that you can maintain long term. Again, this isn't short-term fixes. This isn't a diet. These are lifestyle, right? You've heard that phrase. Tips and tricks, that just means that you can do this for life. The things you do day in and day out, that's your life, that's your lifestyle. So adding healthy habits and behaviors that you can maintain more often than not, indefinitely, that's your lifestyle. Okay, and then finally, take a deep breath. You knew this one was coming. be mindful of your emotions and why you're eating. Because there are a lot of times when we eat, we know we're not hungry. We know we're not hungry. I do it. I still do it to this day. I wish I didn't, but it comes up for me occasionally, and it's still something I struggle with. Like, I reach for the potato chips. I know I'm not hungry. I know I'm just looking for a distraction, either because I'm procrastinating, or I'm tired, or I'm stressed, or I don't know, or it's family movie night and I just want some popcorn, whatever it is. Why? Why are you eating, and why are you reaching for the thing you're reaching for? Because if you were really hungry, like an apple would satisfy you more than the junk. So if you're really truly hungry, go for a better option to satisfy your hunger. If you're not hungry and an apple or whatever, celery sticks, cucumber, is not appealing to you, then it's not actually hunger, it's something else. Slow down, breathe first, think through what you're doing. There are times if you're really in it, and you know what I mean, like if it's just one of those days, I do this, I know better, and I still don't always do better. I'm talking to myself, I'm rationalizing. Yes, I know I'm stressed. Yes, I know I'm not hungry. Yes, I know I should have a salad. But you know what? Screw it. I want whatever it is. It's usually potato chips lately. But just at least, even if that happens, even if you still end up with the thing that you know you shouldn't be eating, at least that's the first step, is just being aware and being mindful. And maybe next time you'll make a better choice, right? Pay attention to what you're eating. Pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to how you feel, what's going on around you. Why are you reaching for this thing at this time? If it's not a physical, like rumbly in the tumbly hunger, then take a moment. Is it part of your plan? Does it help you hit your minimum standards or your minimum requirements? Is it, is it not one of your non-negotiables? That's double negative. I couldn't figure out how to say that better. But, and will it help your willpower long term, right? Build it up little by little, day by day. All right, so those were a whole bunch of tips to help you to avoid the binge. If you'd like more help, stay connected with me and other members of the Purple Penguin Fitness family. Let me know if you have any comments or questions on this topic, which one of the tips was most helpful to you, and if you'd like more information on this type of information, kind of like where fitness meets psychology, which is what I love. I love to nerd out on this stuff. So if it's helpful to you, let me know, because I'd love to share more. Have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous day, my friends. Be well.